It was a crime that spread tremors of shock and fear through London's streets. Dr. Mark Prince, OBE, has spent 15 years wondering how life might have turned out for his teenage son, Kiyan Prince, the Queen's Park Rangers youth player, tipped for a bright future in the game, but whose potential was cruelly wiped out in 2006 when he was brutally murdered outside his school. Described as a prince by name and a prince by nature, the 15-year-old lived the final moments of his life here, outside the London Academy in Edgware, northwest London. He was stabbed once in the heart while trying to break up a fight. Kiyan Prince later died here at the Royal London Hospital in Whitechapel.
Talking about Kiyan, like, obviously he was a son to us. To everybody else, he was this future football star that was coming about. And to most people, he was so much. He was so much more. To a young boy who was like 12, 13, he was a hero. Because when he was getting bullied, Kiyan would talk to the guy and say, "Come on, man! Like, you know, he's only 12, 13 years old. He's in year 7. You know, stop picking on him." To somebody else who just come over the country, who was an immigrant, who had no friends or nobody.
In truth, knife crime in the capital and in other big cities never really left the political agenda in the years since. The Kiyan Prince Foundation was set up in 2007 with the aim of persuading young people that life can offer a better alternative to carrying a blade.
We've currently impacted over 80,000 young people in our time that we've been going out to schools, prisons, pupil referral units, anywhere, universities, colleges, anywhere where young people are, where we can get that audience, we're all over it. And the feedback we're getting is years later, I'm getting messages from young people. You came in, done a talk at wherever it was, and since then, it has never impacted me like ever before.
I think great credit's got to go to Mark and the foundation and what they do at the moment and what they're trying to do in trying to help all the other youngsters in and around the London area, and not just around London but in England in general, in terms of what they're trying to do to stop knife crime and everything else, and that's what's keeping the legacy going.
Other organisations are helping ensure Kiyan Prince never fades from memory. 2 years ago, QPR called on their supporters to choose who they wanted to see take the naming rights of their Loftus Road ground. The online vote came out in support of renaming their home the Kiyan Prince Foundation Stadium.
And officially dedicate this the Kiyan Prince Foundation Stadium.
It was a humbling experience for Dr. Prince and Kiyan's mother, Tracy.
I just want to say thank you. Tracy's voice probably ain't as big and loud as mine, so I'll speak on her behalf. Thank you, everyone. You are the best club, the best family club. You know, we're overwhelmed with joy, aren't we, babe? And everyone here that's family, friends, we're overwhelmed with joy that you care about Kiyan and the name and the work that's being done to help other young people.
To commemorate the 15th anniversary of his death, QPR are giving Kiyan Prince the number 30 squad number next season. EA Sports have reprised him as a QPR player in the latest edition of the FIFA series of video games, using deepfake technology with the input of accounts from the family and those who knew his playing style. Kiyan is seen here as he may have looked as the 30-year-old footballer he would be today.
We're used to having to make things look totally real, you know, and with Kiyan's family involved, though, that really took things to a whole new level.
Kiyan Prince left a legacy to be proud of here at Queen's Park Rangers and far further beyond. But what we'll never know is just how good he could have been on the pitch. Joe Gallen was a youth coach here at QPR at the time of the youngster's death. He's gone on to forge a successful career as a coach in the EFL, and he's in no doubt of the potential the teenager possessed.
Well, first of all, we had fantastic hopes for him as a footballer, as he was a very powerful physical number 9. And during the under-14 games on a Sunday morning, the under-15 games, he was always the outstanding performer. But also, maybe more importantly, he had a huge personality within that group, within that team. He was the leader. He was, you know, he was the best player, but he was the leader, and everyone looked up to him. And Kiyan Prince sort of took the whole team with him.
There is, though, some unfinished business for Dr. Prince. He was denied the opportunity last year to meet his son's killer, Hanad Hassan, who was 16 when he committed the murder and is now applying for parole after 14 years behind bars. Dr. Prince still wants that face-to-face conversation with the man who took his son's life.
That has to come. I need to experience it. The people need to experience it and see it in the flesh that this can happen. You can move past this pain and hurt of what someone's done in your life. There's many of us that are dealing with unforgiveness, and we'll never move forward in life because it impacts on us. We think forgiveness is about the other person. It's about us.
With 15 years now having passed since Kiyan Prince met his tragic end, a new generation is now emerging who may know the name, but may not know the story of a young man who achieved so much, would almost certainly have gone on to achieve even more, but who is alive and well through the legacy he continues to enhance. Aidan McGee, Sky Sports.